This Global Money Week, watch as 6 Ghanaian youth take control. They will tackle financial issues that are impacting the youth whilst sharing their experiences and sparring on different topics. Transitioning to a cashless system is better for society despite potential risks related to privacy and exclusion for certain groups.
I believe in a cashless system. It is more efficient, okay, trying to move money around. We used to have a system where when you want to send money to your brother, even just here at University of Ghana, you have to go all the way down, pick a car. The risks involve getting there alone. But in a cashless system, I can just take the numbers, either a telephone number or a mobile number. I just do the transaction. Secondly, I believe it will reduce crime rates. Okay, so in a cashless system, it leaves a crime trail. Be able to track where this money went to, where this money came from which account, and all that. So doing investigations, all these things can reduce. Yeah. And then also, I think the environmental impacts. We are in a country where we are trying to reduce the cutting of trees and all those things. These monies we see, I mean, this cash, this paper form, goes back to these trees. We are facing global warming. We are advocating for a system where we should reduce a whole lot of things. I think in a cashless system, all these things should be reduced. So, I mean, these are my points, and I believe my fellow colleagues would
I agree. I mean, there are lots of, like you said, there are backdrops, right? But I feel the advantages too are more. And in as much as I feel it's good for a cashless system is good for the world or our society. I also agree that there should be a balance, because to avoid some of the backdrops that the cashless system comes with. However, you know, these days, right, value for money is very high, and then there are certain amounts you can't be walking around holding them. Even me, if I'm holding like even thousands of me, Charlie, I'm not comfortable. So you can imagine if you are buying like gold and you need like 10,000, 20,000, and you are transported to Kumasi, and you are staying 2M Express.
Okay.
I mean, so the cashless system allows it's the advantages are a lot, and then you can do with a lot of transactions within a very short period of time. Also, I think it's safe, and then you can keep track of transactions. So, you know, financing terrorism activities and all of these things can be tracked. Corruption too can be tracked when we use the cashless system. So I believe it comes with good advantages. However, a blend of the two is better, but more of the cashless than the fiscal.
Yeah, so I also think that is good. In the sense that I'll focus more on the government aspect, because mostly when it comes to this kind of debate, you know, it's about regulations and all of that. And also we should also focus be more on how when it comes to revenue, okay, like government, how does government able to generate money and all that. You know, in the cashless system, I believe that it's more effective and it's more efficient, because the government could, as you said, you track, you know where the money is going. It's not really going to somebody's hand where you say, oh, we don't know where this money passed, so then you get it. So then it's more cashless. Okay, so what is being done currently? Okay, government is able to track the revenue of MTN, can then track revenue of this Momo, you know, and through that takes its revenue. Okay, so I'm more focused on government and the fact that it's really going to help also to get more money and then ensure that there's development going on with that money that's been done.
So unexpectedly, I think a lot of us support it. So there comes a time in the system of governments where the government has to take a strong stance to either support something or not, holistically. So I think the motion already fiats that there are some, as you said, backdrops with this cashless society. But then again, when we weigh the advantages over the disadvantages, then that gives us the legitimacy or the right to say that we would go for this cashless society. So there are different societies in which this cashless society could hold. So let's say the African or the typically underdeveloped society, and then the highly developed society. So for the underdeveloped society, like in most of the African societies we have, like technology, the technological advancements of this country is something that is of paramount interest. That is why when some of these countries abroad decide to take on an initiative, we copy it instantly because we know how beneficial it's going to be for us. The examples he gave about how you don't need to go travel for miles to send an amount of money to someone. It's a very like it's a very realistic example we can all relate to. Now, handling money is easier. Handling theft is easier. You go to some companies that deal with a lot of heavy duty materials and they don't take cash because they think it is safer to have like a cashless system. So with the issue of whether or not people are going to be able to cooperate or people are going to be able to accept this, it depends on how it is presented to the people. This issue of the reason Ghanaians still use more money even after the introduction of e-levy is because of the benefits we derive from it, the sort of comfort we derive from sending money. So I think even if e-levy is increased to like 15% right now, people will still use it because of the comfort. So that brings me back to what I was saying. There comes to a point where the government has to take a hard stance and choose something that is beneficial for the country in the long run. So if this thing is going to help us technologically, financially, if it's going to be an innovative measure to handle money, we have problems in the African society of how cash is handled. That's why you have the central bank teaching us on how to handle money, how to handle coins, how to save money, because of how we handle cash. And so if we check the link between how people are going to accept it and how the government plays or the role the government plays in this, the link is just has to do with how it is carried out, how they are going to sell the idea to the people, regardless of the disadvantages that it is brought up with.
And the institution with which it is
carried to, yes.
Okay. So everyone said yes. So I'll
not everyone.
say no. I beg to differ. Yes. So you make cashless systems sound nice. You make it sound good. But it's scary and it's terrible in reality. The cons of a cashless system supersedes the pros of a cashless system. This is why. For the sake of privacy, for the sake of choice, I would say that we should maintain a system that we have existing. When you go to the Western world or even to the US, the Caribbeans, yes, they have a cashless means. They have cards that they are using. Yet still, the currency or the paper money still exists. When you come here, we patronize MTN Momo, we patronize Voda, we patronize G-Money, eSwitch, however, but we still have the paper existing. On the level of privacy, notice that when you go on a cashless system, everything that you use your money for is recorded, is stipulated into a server, and there is no privacy in that vein because there are situations where you would decide to send your side chick money, and your wife is going to decide that I'm going to track it down by calling the bank to ask for bank statement on what you used your money for. That's how the cashless system looks like. In the same vein, when, irrespective of the fact that I can track down theft situations, it still infringes on my privacy. I can't simply buy a dildo because the government is going to know that I bought a dildo and get it. We look at it on this small note. Let's look at it on a bigger vein, where the government has every single information about what you use your money for. This system is not going to be handled by a private institution. It's going to be handled by the government institutions, meaning that they will have sole authority on how you use your money because you don't have it individually on your hands. You get it? Meaning that they can decide to block your account. They can decide to make you confiscate your assets in money because it's cashless when you go against their rules and regulations, or when you decide that what the government said I should do, I would not do. A typical example is what happened in Canada when those who were bringing the cargo men from Canada bringing foodstuff into the US were forced to vaccinate during the COVID time. When they refused, the government decided to block the accounts because then cashless systems are used more over there than money cash being used for transactions. When you talk of global warming and all that, we have more pressing matters in global warming than papers. Papers existed in the 19th century. Then global warming was not a serious matter. Now we have cars. Now we have airplanes. Now we have the mining going on in our forest. We have industries that are polluted. That is something that we need to address more than cashless. I feel I want to send money to my grandfather at Senkubase and I want to commute there. So be it. Even if we want to implement it in Ghana, the people who are going to really benefit from it are the people in the cities, in the modern areas. You get it? What happens to the people who don't have the literacy to engage in a cashless system? So I feel that for the sake of literacy, for the sake of engagement, for the sake of choice, we should have a system where, yes, cashless is convenient when you talk about the luxury of sitting at the comfort of your home and being able to pay for stuff rather than going out to pay for them physically. It's good. But if I want to have a cash on me and do transactions with cash because of privacy and because of choice, I should be allowed to have that. And because of safety from the governments being dictators and deciding that because of this, I'm going to hold your money, I should be allowed to have cash in my world as well.
I think the cashless system shouldn't be 100%. We have to maintain the cash system in the sense that we should look at our market women and even our grandfathers and mothers, as you said. They are not educated. They don't know this kind of the technology we are using, the Momo, this thing, the code and things. If we actually implement this cashless system, they are going to suffer from it. It means they can't operate with money. So it shouldn't be 100%. It should be some kind of level so that we can maintain a cash system for our uneducated grandmothers and market women in the market so that they can also be part of the system, the monetary system. You understand? So, as I said, we shouldn't take it that it should be 100% cashless. So that's it. That's my view.
So I understand when you say the market women and all those things, right? So you see, that is when the issue of breaking that financial inclusion gap. You get. Now we are in this economy where when about cashless, it can be in many forms, okay? So not necessarily like me giving you code, you make payment, you accept money and everything, right? So there are even QR codes you can even scan, process transaction and all of that, okay? And you also talked about like in a situation where like US and the Caribbeans are busy going cashless and everything, right? Notwithstanding, I totally respect that. But then in the US, right, you could hold physical money.
That's what I said.
Yeah, so you could hold physical money like you said, right? And then you take a lift. Bet me, you'll not be able to pay with your physical money unless you pay with your card through the system. Because nobody's going to just a simple Lyft drive or Uber. Okay, I'm just speaking from experience, like how I felt, like what happened when I was there. You could go into a normal shop like a Spot. That is when you realize that your little money physical will play, but then what is happening? Everybody's just going cashless, and all of that. Okay, because they believe that hey, I'm not scared to hold this money. Hey, and people do attack people all the time. Okay. Because they found out they are holding money, and then and everything. So I feel like also the security must really play, and then about the cashless, they are basic, like there are a lot. Okay, as we're just focusing on centralized cashless system.
Yeah.
I think there are a few responses towards both of you. I would like to add it together. So on the issue on privacy, about how the government is going to breach privacy and things, I think the government is not an entity that thrives or is isolated from the community.
people.
They work within the community. So there's no way the government is just going to all of a sudden decide to breach upon the privacy of people without rebellion from the people. One thing we need to address here is that on the issue of privacy, the counterintuitive of that is accountability.
Okay.
The reason a lot of people, the reason GRA, the Ghana Revenue Authority, does not get a lot of tax returns from people is because they do not have access to what the kind of money these people use. If there is more accountability on the side of the individuals to the state, then it is going to be something that is like a return policy on the people. Secondly, we need to realize that this cashless system is not something that is going to make the less privileged like worsen their plight or their situation. The only reason why people in the outskirts of town who don't even have education these days are still able to benefit from the cashless society is because of because of how convenient it is. There is no way my grandmother in the northern region will travel to Accra to give me money because I need money. There's no way that will happen right now. People are already accustomed to that. So it's only good that we set proper regulatory measures in place for the cashless system to thrive.
Yeah.
We agree that there are always going to be some backdrops to this thing. But so far as we have proper regulatory measures and so far as we have larger buy-ins from the people, then it is going to be something that thrive. Look at a lot of policies that the government brought that at first the citizens were not okay with. At the long run, when they realized that it was to their benefit, they decided to buy in. Look at the policies Nkrumah brought. Look at how he decided to use Ghana's money to build a lot of factories. The citizens were not understanding it when he started. But after that, they realized that the Commander sugar factory, the sugarcane factory, the leather factory, the cashew factory, they were benefiting from it.
Okay.
So if it is like going to be something that we ultimately accept, then there should be proper regulation
Ernest wanted to
measures.
say something.
Yes, you said, Sylvester said, if you are holding huge money, you can be attacked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes,
With the cashless system, you can be attacked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look
I'm
at
talking
this
about the
Momo
proportion.
fraud and
Yeah.
Of use.
now they are attacking us with our Momo.
Yes.
You can be
And
there
it's more rampant.
When they attack,
Well, how
what
do
are
they
they,
do?
what are they
What
coming
do they
for? When they attack the Momo vendors, what are they coming
how is
for?
even the means of attacking? How
They
do
are coming for
See,
the physical cash.
They are not coming.
Exactly.
Even if when you talk from that angle,
Okay.
we have people who are scamming
Yeah, they
people.
can hack
Scammers
your
are
accounts
only
back.
thriving only because of cashless.
Okay.
The systems that you
They get
that
no,
that you get
It exists
that
on both
exist.
sides.
It exists on
Let
both
us
sides.
agree on
Yes,
that.
but
Yes.
how often do we have it?
Yeah.
Now, more often than not, people are being robbed of their money because it's going on the digital world. Do you get it? As compared to when we had cash, it wasn't that rampant. You get it? Until before you hear something of that sort, that means the person was really battered or something. How much money is the person going to get? That's labeled as armed robbery.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So we are saying that yes, we want the cashless system. We want to use digital money. We want to use all that. But notwithstanding, we want cash to still exist because of the things that cash can do and the things that electrical money also can do.
And which one do you think
So
should
for them-
outweigh the other?
No,
Which one do you think should outweigh the other?
Right
Which
now,
one
which
should outweigh
be
the other?
more. One thing we need to realize is that the world is transitioning into a digital currency.
Yeah.
That's why we
Yeah.
have a lot of people dealing with cryptocurrency
Yeah.
or e-money. That's why we have countries even accepting cryptocurrency as their national.
This Global Money Week, watch as 6 Ghanaian youth take control. They will tackle financial issues that are impacting the youth whilst sharing their experiences and sparring on different topics. Don't be left out. Protect your money. Secure your future.